has now paused its self-driving car service in 5 US cities in response to a software issue which has seen some vehicles enter flooded roads and get stuck. The US firm recently issued a recall of thousands of robotaxis following an incident on the 20th April in San Antonio, Texas, when an empty Waymo vehicle entered a flooded road and was swept into a creek. 9 Western countries have urged Israel to stop expanding its settlements in the occupied West Bank, in a joint statement that also condemns settler violence and warns construction companies not to bid for tenders. In a joint statement on Friday, the leaders of the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Norway and the Netherlands emphasised that such settlements violate international law.
Kevin Warsh has been sworn in as the new chair of the United States Federal Reserve Board of Governors, succeeding Jerome Powell, who has held the position since 2018. Warsh took the oath of office on Friday following a contentious nomination period, with the Senate voting along party lines as on both his confirmation to the Board of Governors and as chairman. Only Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman broke with his Democratic colleagues to advance his nomination.
We hear how San Diego's Muslim community is grieving, supporting one another and trying to move forward after an attack that shattered their sense of safety. How does a community begin healing after unimaginable loss? In this episode...
The World Health Organization has urged countries to continue monitoring passengers for hantavirus after a case was detected among a Dutch crew member of the ship at the centre of the outbreak. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the WHO chief, told a news conference in Geneva on Friday that he urges all countries to monitor the passengers who were on board the MV Hondius cruise ship and move carefully for the remainder of the quarantine period.
Earlier this week, Google rolled out a completely new search experience, foregrounding AI summaries and kicking the traditional 10 blue links far down the page. But the sheer scale of Google search means there are lots of edge cases that the company doesn't seem to have considered. For instance, this is what you'll now get if you type the word disregard into Google search.
Spotify was a music app at one time, then it added podcasts, then audiobooks. Now the company is piling AI features into its app at a pace that can feel overwhelming. The latest wave, announced at its Investor Day, skews heavily toward using AI to generate content rather than using AI to help users find content they actually want. Until now, Spotify has been largely a platform for human-created content, music, podcasts and audiobooks. As it adds AI-powered tools to generate all of those formats, the app is poised to look very different. That shift is also creating friction. AI can now produce music faster than Spotify can manage it.
In Apple's seemingly never-ending lawsuit with Fortnite maker Epic Games over App Store commissions, the iPhone maker is once again fighting a court's ruling. Its latest tactic? Saying that Epic Games' beef with Apple over its fee structure shouldn't lead to an injunction that applies to all developers that publish on the US App Store, including other tech giants like Microsoft and Spotify, which weren't a part of this particular litigation. Epic never brought a class action and never attempted to show that enjoining Apple's conduct against all other developers, like Microsoft or Spotify, who have nothing to do with Epic, was somehow necessary to provide relief to Epic, reads Apple's new petition, which asks the US Supreme Court to review the lower court ruling. The merchandise website of FBI Director Kash Patel was taken offline on Friday after reports that it had been hijacked by hackers trying to infect visitors with malware, as first reported by Straight Arrow News. As of this writing, the website of Based Apparel is offline. On Thursday, an ex-user who goes by Debbie posted that the brand's website apparently had malware on it, in particular an infostealer, a type of malicious software designed to infect victims and steal their credentials and passwords. A security researcher later analysed the malware.
Huawei has launched the MatePad Pro Max globally. It's now is your Spark event in Bangkok. The company says the tablet is the world's thinnest and lightest 13-inch plus tablet. It measures 4.7 millimeter thick and weighs 499 grams, making it thinner than Apple's 13-inch iPad Pro M5, which measures 5.1 millimeters. Despite its slim body, the tablet carries a 10,400 milliamp hour battery.
With about a month left until Google releases the stable version of Android 17, smartphone brands have started speeding up development for their own devices. Vivo launched its Android 17 beta program in early April and is preparing to release the stable update later this year. The update is expected to arrive with Origin OS 7 on top.
The World Health Organization has upgraded the public health risk of the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo from high to very high as the deadly outbreak continues to spread. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced on Friday that they were revising their risk assessment for the Bundibugyo strain of Ebola to very high at the national level, high at the regional level, and low at global level.
A simmering dispute between players and the Grand Slams over revenue sharing intensified at the French Open, with Novak Djokovic warning the sport risked further fragmentation as leading players pressed for a greater voice in shaping its future. Several players were expected to limit their appearances at Friday's traditional pre-tournament media day to 15 minutes and to not conduct any additional multimedia interviews.
Only 16% of Americans view the economy in the United States as good or excellent, a new Gallup poll suggests, as inflation continues to rise amid the war on Iran. The survey, released on Friday, deepens US President Donald Trump's political woes ahead of the midterm elections in November, which will determine whether his Republican Party can retain control of Congress. At Google's I/O Developer Conference this week, we had the opportunity for a brief hands-on with its upcoming AI-powered glasses. Not the audio-only glasses that Google said will begin shipping this fall, but rather the glasses that offer a combined audio and visual experience. First announced at last year's event, these Android XR glasses offer an in-lens display that puts helpful information in front of you, overlaid on top of the real world. This includes widgets that could display things like the weather, walking directions, Uber pickup details, live translation, and more, even widgets you designed yourself using AI.
OpenAI is facing renewed criticism over claims that workers in Kenya were used to help train ChatGPT to detect and filter harmful content. The criticism centers on the role of human workers in teaching artificial intelligence systems how to sort through data and identify unsafe material. Civil engineering professor Musa Labluba from the University of Sharjah in the UAE has developed a simple device designed to reduce earthquake damage. The device does not require electricity and uses basic physics to absorb and dissipate vibration energy during seismic activity.
Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on Friday inaugurated the 39-kilometre signal-free Shahra-Ibuto corridor from Qayyumabad to the M9 motorway and laid the foundation stone for the next phase, connecting the route to Karachi port. The inauguration ceremony for phase 3 of the project was held in Karachi, after which the road was opened for traffic up to the Kaithor Bridge on the M9 motorway.
Google's upcoming Gemini intelligence features may not run on the Pixel 9 series because of the Gemini Nano V3 requirement. The requirement means Google's own 2025 flagship phones may not qualify for the feature. As a result, Google appears to have built an AI experience that its most recent previous generation phones cannot currently support.
The risk from the deadly Ebola outbreak has been raised to the highest level for the Democratic Republic of Congo. DRC, the World Health Organization, WHO, said Friday as the toll continues to rise. The WHO upgraded its risk assessment level from high to very high for the DRC, while keeping the regional risk level at high and the global risk level at low.
South Korean police are seeking an arrest warrant for a YouTuber who allegedly faked evidence that defamed actor Kim Soo-hyun and fueled a scandal which ended his career. Authorities say the YouTuber had manipulated screenshots of text messages and shared an audio file made with AI to give the impression that the actor had dated actress Kim Se-ron when she was still a minor.
Public health risk from the current Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been increased from high to very high by the World Health Organization. In an update on Friday, the WHO's head, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, also said the risk in the wider region in Africa was high, but it remained low at a global level.
Russia has expressed outrage as it reported that a Ukrainian drone attack killed at least 4 people in the occupied Luhansk region. The Moscow-installed regional governor, Leonid Pasechnik, reported on Friday that a student dormitory in Starobilsk was hit. The Kremlin, which has killed thousands in Ukraine since launching Go, described it as a monstrous crime. Turkey has revoked the operational license for a top private university with liberal values, effectively forcing it to close in the middle of the academic year, after the institution was seized by the state in a criminal investigation last year. In a presidential decree published in the official Gazette on Friday, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan revoked the operating license for Istanbul Bilgi University, which has an estimated 20,000 students from Turkey and across the world.
United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio will travel to India on Saturday for a 3-day visit, taking in Kolkata, Agra, Jaipur and New Delhi. He will discuss energy security, trade and defence cooperation with senior Indian officials. US State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott said in a statement on Tuesday.
US President Donald Trump has announced that the United States will send an additional 5,000 troops to Poland, a surprise move that has deepened uncertainty about Washington's military posture in Europe. In a post on his Truth Social platform on Thursday, Trump linked the decision directly to his relationship with Poland's right-wing President Karol Nawrocki.
Meta has quietly released a new standalone app for Facebook groups called Forum. The company seems to be positioning Forum as a platform that functions similarly to Reddit, describing the app as a dedicated space built for deeper discussions, real answers, and communities you care about.
Phone provider Trump Mobile has confirmed that it was exposing customers' names, email addresses, mailing addresses, cell numbers and order identifiers to the open internet. Chris Walker, a spokesperson for the Trump-branded phone maker, told TechCrunch that the company is investigating the exposure and has not found evidence that content or financial information spilled online. The company said there was no breach of Trump Mobile's network, systems or infrastructure.
The Punjab government has decided to hand over all honour killing cases across the province to the Crime Control Department in a major shift in how such crimes will be investigated. According to sources, every murder committed in the name of honour will now be probed by the CCD. The department had previously been focused mainly on organised crime, habitual offenders and narcotics-related cases.
Pakistan all-rounder Kushdil Shah has drawn attention after reposting a post on X criticising the Pakistan Cricket Board PCB selection decisions, including picking Shadab Khan, following the announcement of the squad for the 3-match ODI series against Australia. The PCB has named a 16-member squad for the series, which will be played from May 30 to June 4 in Rawalpindi and Lahore. Shaheen Shah Afridi will captain the side, while Salman Ali Agha has been named vice-captain. Babar Azam, Haris Rauf, Shadab Khan and Naseem Shah have returned to the squad, while Mohammad Rizwan has been left out.